In thinking about the nature of polarity and wondering about the nature of bipolar opposites regarding the masculine and feminine energies, how could you tell the difference between a male and female if they don't have a bipolar opposite? And further, how can you tell the nature of a positive in a positive or negative environment?
We're the Council of Light, and we're pleased to answer this question because it gets to the core of quantum physics. You see, the universe was made on opposite polarities. Everything that has a light has a dark. The way that you perceive this on the earth is quite different than the way it is supposed to work. So we are going to clear up the meaning of light and dark and positive and negative, the way we define it through humans. But we first want to go into the quantum realm and say that everything must have its counterpart, because the opposites that come in are actually the reflection that strengthens the conscious perceiver of that opposite. It is not unlike the story of God that we have told in many other transmissions. God perceiving itself as the only consciousness needed to fragment itself into different polarities in order to recognize and expand itself through experience. So masculine and feminine are simply representative of those dichotomies of light and dark, of polar opposite, of positive and negative, not because one is negative and one is positive, but because there's a symbiosis in the universe that everything becomes neutralized. And we want to give you this example first, before we go into the further explanation of this. Many of you understand that there are a lot of negative experiences that are happening on the planet. And those negative experiences must go somewhere. They aren't just contained here. They have been contained in a third-dimensional grid. However, the original design is that any negative experience that is happening in the universe is met with the positive and becomes neutralized. So, for example, you are slowing this down here in physical. If you have a disease in the body, that disease might be perceived as negative, but it's always attracting its positive, which is the healing of the disease, which becomes integrated in knowledge or experience. And once that disease has become healed, you are expanded. And you are meant to use that expansion to perpetuate more expansion. And this is why you are all healers and teachers in your own right, light workers here on the planet at this time. But what's happened is there's been a skewing of those polarities. The breaking down of masculine and feminine is really just a technological explanation of how those polarities work within you and within all other beings. Masculine and feminine energies work in concert and are meant to blend and integrate to continue to expand. But we know that all of you realize you have been subjected to a very abundant masculine energy. And because of this, it has been very hard to find that balance, that neutrality, we'll call it, of both polarities. So in a sense, human awakening is waking up out of separation and judgment of these different polarities and calling them forth in equilibrium such that they can continue to expand humanity. What we believe this question is based on is true judgment. How is it, if there are polarities of light, dark, divine feminine, divine masculine, can we decipher or discern? And discernment is meant to be a part of the human reality. Discernment doesn't mean that darkness has to be prevalent. It doesn't mean that darkness actually has to be criminal. Darkness can be something that you don't prefer, but another human certainly does. And that's the original design. So the original design is based in preference, but has become skewed into discordance. And that discordance is fueled by continual judgment. So looking at, for example, criminal energy as defined as darkness, the more that criminal energy is subjected to criminal acts, the more that aspect of darkness is expanded. So you are not here necessarily to be in neutrality all of the time. You're meant to explore, discern, and expand from polarity such that you're always coming back into neutrality and moving beyond it to expand again. Your vibration in motion, you are a wave form, and that wave form is meant to move between different experiences such that it can continue to perpetuate its uniqueness.